Hey everyone, it's Kayla with the Celebration Company, and I've got something fun for you today. But first, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. And also be sure to check me out on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram for a lot of other fun ideas just like this one. All right, y'all, we are making the cutest pumpkin lantern, and I am using two Dollar Tree flower hanging baskets. And I've gone ahead and removed the chain, as well as I cut off the 3 little hooks that were on each of them with my wire cutters. You do need some pretty strong, hefty wire cutters to be able to remove them. So we're going to take some black wire. This is from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just cutting pieces about 6 inches or so, and I'm just stacking it on top and then just finding an intersection, and I'm just kind of winding that wire around those little intersections. And I just did this about 5 or 6 places all the way around. It does get a little tricky because it tends to kind of get off centered a little bit. But as you get all the way around and you keep adjusting them and keep tying it, then it starts to come together pretty nicely. Okay, so after you have everything wired together, we're just going to go in with some Mod Podge, and I want to make this look like a rusty pumpkin. So I'm just going to take a foam pouncer and some cinnamon, and we're just pouncing some Mod Podge on, just doing a section at a time, and then just sprinkling that cinnamon over top. We're going to do the outside and the inside, so it does take a little bit of time. You just need to work on it in sections and just get it covered as much as you can. You don't have to cover the whole thing. It's okay if you do have some parts that are still showing up the black, but this is just going to give it this really nice sort of vintage, old rusty feel, which is going to be really great. Now, as I kept doing this and I got, a bunch of cinnamon on my tray, I ended up just being able to kind of roll that frame into the cinnamon to get those pieces of wire cut. I also did the inside, so I just stuck my hand kind of inside the frame to get that part done as well. So you just keep going until you get it covered as much as you want to. You can also dry this as you go so that you don't mess it up. You can see as I started getting that bottom, I just kind of moved it onto the paper so that I could get that. And then I'm just kind of rolling it right in that cinnamon that I've got going on there. All right, so I'm just trying this a little bit just to see how things look. And then I'm going to go back with my Mod Podge. So I'm just taking the same pouncer that I was using, and we're just going to go right over top of all that cinnamon with our Mod Podge. Do the best you can to cover it all. It's very easy to lose track of where you're at and what you've done and what you haven't done. But in the end, it's going to look really, really great. So you just keep doing that until you cover as much of it as you possibly think you can. And then we're just going to take and dry it again. Okay, so now we're going to take some Dollar Tree plaques. I am just going to remove the sticker with the heat gun. These plaques are about 4 inches or so. You can get them at Hobby Lobby as well. We're just going to take some Mod Podge, cover the plaques completely in Mod Podge, and then we're just going to dunk them in that cinnamon. So just completely covering them in cinnamon. You could also paint these if you want to. You could do a fun sort of chippy paint technique as well. You could paint them a rusty color if you didn't want to do all the cinnamon. It's definitely a messy job, but do whatever feels right to you. Before I flipped them over to do the back side, because you do want to do the back side as well, I just wanted to give them a little bit of a dry, and then I'll just flip them over, paint the back side with our Mod Podge, and just continue to do the same thing with the cinnamon until these are completed. So we're drying, and then we're just going to go back with our Mod Podge, just cover them with Mod Podge. And this is just going to kind of seal it and give it a little bit of a rusty look. Okay, so I decided to take a little bit of burnt umber. This is by Decor and my pouncer, and I just went over it with a little bit of that burnt umber just to add a little bit of extra variation to this. So it just wasn't all one note. So we just added some color variation to that. Okay, so now we just need to put this together. On the bottom, I'm just taking some Gorilla Super Glue gel and putting it just right around that ring. And then on the top, we're not going to do the ring because the ring is on the bottom. So we're just going to put a little bit of that super glue gel on the straight pieces. And just set your plaques on and then just let those set for a few minutes just to really stick to the lantern. Now I'm taking some nautical jute rope from the Dollar Tree and I'm cutting 7 pieces, I believe is how many you need. You're going to start by taking 2, gluing those together, and then 1 right in the middle of those 2, making a little pyramid, and then you just keep going all the way around that 1 piece in the middle until you've created a nice little cylinder. And then you can just start playing with this. I just take from the bottom, I'm just kind of pushing all those little threads out to create our pumpkin stem, and you can kind of bend it a little bit to the side to give it a little bit of that flair like a pumpkin stem would generally have. And then we're just going to use some hot glue and glue it right to the top. So that is basically your pumpkin lantern. Now we're just going to decorate it a little bit. So I'm going to use this berry garland. It's got some orangey, kind of rusty colored berries. And I'm just kind of twirling it around a pin or a marker or something to make our vines. And then right now I'm just kind of playing with placement, kind of seeing how I want things to go. Then I've got this floral here that came from Hobby Lobby. I'm using, I believe, 2 different pieces of that, and we just kind of use some few different pieces, just kind of fill in. And so you just keep working with this, kind of adding and removing and all of that. I'm basically putting all the pieces kind of up underneath that stem that we did. And I'm also going to add a bow. I'm just taking this little bow. This is ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I wrapped some jute wire around the middle of it. So now I'm kind of just gluing everything in there, using my hot glue to make sure that everything stays in place and looks really good. And you can see I'm adding extra berries just to make, or not extra berries, extra floral to make sure that's nice and full. And I'm keeping it just on the one side and letting it sort of hang down just a little bit. And then I'm going to add in my bow, and you're basically done. And then you can put a candle in the middle. You could do a rusty candle, whatever you want. But super simple, cheap, inexpensive project that looks absolutely gorgeous. It's perfect for fall and will look amazing in anyone's home. I hope you all enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. And I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.